defines a real man? Like, what makes you a real man?
It requires a lot of responsibility, and most men wasn't taught responsibility at all.
Like our core circle of friends, like my daddy was the only one around. The only one.
So whose responsibility is it? So I'm not going to run to the front. I'm not going to, you got these rights, you got all this stuff. I'm not running to the front. I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing in the community.
Hold on, the bigger picture is this. I think we as men have to learn how to take accountability for our own selves. The question for me, and I guess to most people that will watch you, is in your opinion, like what defines a real man? Like what makes you a real man? Like last time we had a conversation, some people was like, well, you gotta grow into a man. And then some people was like, well, you're a man, you just have to, you make your mistakes and you just gotta evolve into so I think it's a lot of opinions, so to me, I think you could be an age of a man but still be a boy. Like you can be in your 40s and still be a little boy, right? Like you can be 40 with kids and still handle things like a little guy or a young man. So that's kind of my stance. What you gotta think about?
I think you define a man based off how he handles responsibility.
Right.
Pretty much just how you said it. The man 40 and he's making bad decisions, then it's kind of like you the age for one. Right. You ain't really got the mind for one.
Right.
Provide for your family, so you gotta be a provider. But I also think it matters how aware you are to those around you, especially those coming up. So that's your children, obviously if you got kids, but also just you. Like if you're aware, even if you aren't a vocal, hey, I'm doing this, so this, to get this, to teach you this, it can be I'm living to knowing I'm an example to somebody else. So I think that's another part.
But what about people though, just for me, what about people that, you think you a man though, but you not? How do we, you got the little guys that's coming up after us, what do we do to help change how they are evolving into a man? Because, for me, my dad was in jail for 26 years. So, I didn't have, technically, if you look in the community, it ain't a lot of role models out here. You got the dude on the block, especially where we are right now. You come to this mug 9 o'clock, it's a different scene out here on St. Louis Avenue. What do we do? How do we help the next generation get the models?
I think it's good to get the voice from them. A lot of younger guys don't have a voice in the space of men. So right now, this is a good space to see what do you think a man is? What is get opened up their perspective or get their perspective. Let them have a voice to talk.
A friend of mine from high school, he just pointed out to me the other day that out of our core circle of friends, my daddy was the only one around, the only one.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? I was raised by my old dude, it was just me and him.
Right.
So I don't really know nothing but.
Right.
He went to work, came home, played basketball. That was it. He had 12 brothers, so it wasn't me for a whole bunch of friends. So I pretty much learned, all of us learned from pretty much my old dude.
Most people ain't raised by just their daddy.
Yeah.
But that mug super one-sided though. How do you, you raised by your daddy, but then how do your perspective for women?
I mean, my mom was there.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I mean, it didn't really affect me none. I take that back. I take that back. Realistically, it did affect relationships because I didn't really know. I didn't really know how the man and woman interacted with each other, how they coexist in the same household.
Right.
Because it was my daddy and his sister, so it was typical brother and sister.
Right.
Arguing. That type of deal. So it really wasn't I had to learn that. That came once. Yo,
what you say? What you say?
Listen, you trying to Joan right now. This ain't the time. You picked the wrong time. You look like Marshmallow Stay Puft Man. You can be the way you block the camera.
We're going twist though. So, I'm raised without a dad for 26 years. You raised with a dad. Mom was around, but she wasn't as prevalent as the dad.
Right.
But then you have a lot of people in this generation now, they get raised by their grandma. If their grandma 43, you got young grandmas now, the whole era is changing. But then you also have a perspective of the Christian man, right? You're a Christian, but it ain't a lot of men in the church. Here we are, we got a generation, we got a culture. Black church is a staple in the community. But a lot of men ain't in them mud. And a lot of men ain't really even going to church. Here's a bigger question. How come dudes aren't really cool with church?
Sign of help. Most men don't want to acknowledge any help. So, you know what I'm saying? That's a perspective of like, you know what I mean, like showing a weakness in some sort. Right. We don't look to ask God or ask for help until we get on our depth.
Like, I've been trying to make sure that the church itself does not demasculate a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, oftentimes you come to church and you hear language that's like blow kisses to Jesus. Like, I'm not gonna blow a kiss to Jesus, like I'm a whole man. Like, you know, so a lot of times there's language that oftentimes is hard for men to even connect with God, because they would have to feel like they're a woman to connect with Jesus, instead of just being a man, being a dude, being responsible. Like, understanding that God actually, like, is a powerful being. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to emasculate yourself to say that I'm a Christian.
The thing about church, though, is that when most people had that perspective, because most people like, I don't want to go to that church because I'm going to be there for 5 hours, 10 hours, my grandmama church. But then when you look at it, it's like, men, honestly, don't like going to church because they don't want another man telling them how they should live. Like, that's a lot of perspective. But it's not a man really telling you how you should live. It's God through a man giving you instruction. But here's the big problem. Men don't want to admit that they really got an issue. That's why you can't get a man. It's hard for a man to go to counseling with his wife. That's why it's hard for a man to go to counseling with by himself, because he don't want to start telling a whole other man, like, yo, like.
You say your grandmother church, right?
Yeah.
All right, look at the difference between churches then and churches now. You had people that respected their elders. Yes, now, no, now, yes, sir, no, sir. Now, you can listen to music or gospel. You barely know the difference between the world music and church music. You got Nicki Minaj on 1600, just like you got on 104.
But what's the problem with that for you?
What's the problem with that
for you?
You don't know. You can get misconstrued with the language. You know what I'm saying? Like they got the same type of beats, the same. You don't know what you're listening to. It's a slight of words.
So okay, the old school music. I mean, right now, like the old school gospel, right? Does that help you?
No, you gotta connect with your crowd. You gotta connect with your audience. But do the church go as far as connecting with the audience to lose they self? Because now you ain't got women coming into church with dresses below their knee. You got women coming in with see-through and bodysuits on in the choir. You look like they just jumped out the club.
Well, what you prefer? Hey, what do you prefer? If you was in that line of work and it was about kingdom, not church, what would you prefer? Would you prefer somebody come in looking for? Or would you prefer somebody
come in as you are? You know what I'm saying? That's the golden rule.
And that's the big picture. The picture is, why don't we though? Why don't men attend church? And I think one of the biggest things is because we internalize, right? And we are not honest about where we are in our life. Like me, growing up with our daddy for 26 years, that'll mess you up. But you gotta admit, the only way you can get healed is to admit that you got some type of sickness, right?
Like when you say we don't interpolate, we internalize and things of that sort, you're absolutely right. Because the thing is, like when you think about it, there is nobody you can really sit down as a man, number one, and also as a black man, sit down and say, bro, I got this problem. Let me talk to you about it. You're seen as a softie. Society-wise, it's just like, no, you have to be hard. You gotta be strong. Like, you can't be seen as a softie. You'll be a pushover. Like, they'll walk all over you. So, when you have that conflict deep down inside, it's worse than battling somebody else physically. Because mentally, it'll mess up completely, like, literally your whole life.
Yeah.
So, for me, can I say that does affect me as a black man? Absolutely. Because the thing is, like, when I date someone, when I date a woman, I don't want to be seen as vulnerable. I want to be seen as like, oh, you know, babe, I love you, or this and that, and all this other stuff. Right. Due to the fact that I don't want to give you that ammo that I'm supposedly thinking that you can use against me.
Right.
So I have to appear like I'm stone cold, I'm hard, I'm just a wall.
Right.
But on the inside, I'm dying. Because of the fact of the matter is that, do I want love? Yes. Absolutely. Do I want that feeling where you have butterflies when you see that person come across? Absolutely. But at the same time, you're told by your others, nah, man, can't do that.
Bro, that's a
You need to chill with all that.
Real statement.
And then you hear, all you hear is, why you gotta be so sweet? Why you gotta do this? Why you gotta do that? She gonna walk all over you, man. And then the worst part about it is like social media. Yeah. You look online and you hear you have these meme jokes where it's like, oh man, I just started talking to this girl, and dude pulls out, he pulls out a phone and she's doing something, let's say explicitly wrong, and it's her. Yeah. Why do we have to joke about that? You know, that's her business. As a guy, I found something that I really like. Yet you just crushed it for me. Right. So now I have to revert back to my old ways. Right. In a sense of not giving to, and just say, you know what? Why do I have to, hey, they like anyway. Right. So let me just go ahead and do that.
But then we're talking about men being in church, why, internalizing, which is true, we do, but it's not, it's almost like, when you internalize, it's almost like you're a ticking time bomb. Like you about to self-destruct at any moment because you've been holding on, whatever you've been holding on for however long, and then when the wrong person comes at the right time, it's over.
Yeah. So we in the streets, we already taught not to trust people, period. And so why would I go and trust somebody with the most vulnerable pieces in me, especially when the church's been exposed to a degree? And so now the only place that can offer me hope, the only place that I can only get hope from is the place that I'm avoiding because I can't trust them.
Actually, it requires a lot of responsibility, and most men wasn't taught responsibility at home. Right. So now a responsibility with God, like having a relationship with God, requires that responsibility. That's too much for people to handle. Like, because this is the creator of the universe. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not trying to boss you around. He wants a loving relationship with you, and it takes discipline to have that relationship. And most people don't even have that in their personal life. So then try to do that with the creator of the universe. It's a lost cause.
And for me, like, that's the only way that I even became half of the man. And I still got a whole lot more growing to do. Is that when you got an absence of a dad, I said this before, the absence of a father in the home is like a reflection missing out the mirror. When you got a dad, he is that reflection in the mirror for you. So how he move, you move. Like you move, but if you don't have that, you just guessing. So now you going to church without that reflection, right? And now you have a man that's quote unquote your pastor. Now you have to look at him and get instruction from him when it's hard for you. You don't like nobody telling you what to do. You already don't like your boss. You don't want anybody being over you. So now you got somebody say, hey, you need to come here 2 days a week. Now you're not telling me what to do. But hold on, the bigger picture is this. I think we as men have to learn how to take accountability for our own selves and learn how to do community. Like, you my brother. I'm dealing with this issue. Right? And I don't want this to, it's not like a religion thing. That's not what I'm pushing. I'm pushing like this is your relationship between you and the Lord. At the end of the day, you got to work that mug out. But here's the transition is thought. You got men, now you got social media, right? Now we talking about the Mike Browns, you talking about the Eric Garner, you talking about all these things that depict us in a light that technically it may not be true or it might be true. But here's the thing, Eric Garner, he's gone. Mike Brown, he's gone. All these other people are gone. And at one point, we were talking about it all the time. We out here in the street, we talking about it, we don't like, but now that all of these things have subsided, where do we stand with it now? I don't see no social media quiet. Everybody quiet now because ain't nobody getting choked out. Nobody getting pulled out their car, everybody quiet. But then we want to come out the woodworks and get on the stairs of every building in America and shout. Like, how do y'all feel about that? For me, I'm like, wait a minute, it's still not over. How do we make this, how do we keep this thing relevant but not ridiculous? You know what I'm saying?
You got people, like me and others like me who work in the community, period. And for myself, I'm not a glory-seeking type of dude, so when Mike Brown hit my little brother got killed on Garfield in 2013, right? Product of the street, we come from the street, he got killed by the police. Really wasn't big because, it wasn't trending like that. But for me, it's, I'm not a glory-seeking type dude, so I'm not going to run to the front. I'm not going, you got these riots, you got all this stuff. I'm not running to the front. I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing in the community. And the problem is you don't have enough guys like that who are sincere in heart and spirit and focus on changing the narrative of our communities versus being on the stage for a publicity stunt. I'm not with it.
We had a guy in here about a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about whose responsibility is it. He's a baby boomer. He's like 55 years old. So the whole conversation came in the context with we as millennials and ex-millennials, we as in our 25 to 35-year-old age range that we're in now, we're not doing our job. So it's a disservice to the generation that's coming up behind us. So the reason why they're so ratchet and savage is because we haven't done what we're supposed to do. So then what we do is, what he does is he talks to the wrong group of men who don't want to assume any responsibility. So now you take responsibility on this level and you disown it. Then you hand it down one generation and they disown it. Then you hand it down one generation and they disown it. So now it's just a cycle, it's perpetual now. So now they're reaching out for help and reaching out for resources and things that we can give them. But the people who are doing the work like you are being overlooked and overshadowed. So whose responsibility is it?
We don't know what the dream is. Like, we don't know what we're shooting for. So nobody knows what to take responsibility for. You know what I'm saying? Because media is like painting a picture that, okay, be an entertainer, be an athlete. Like, so there's no clear picture of what the goal is. And because there's no clear picture, everybody's kind of chiming in and throwing so much stuff in the sauce that we can't be pointed in one direction, like to even galvanize the troops. Like, where are we going? What do we want? Like, as black men in our community, specifically in St. Louis, like, what do we want?
Is this part of the plot? In the grand scheme of things, like in the grand scheme of media and economic flow and all that good stuff, is this a part of the systems that's supposed to be in place to keep us in this life?
What would you say is the most glorified thing on social media nowadays, or basically generally? In a sense, like.
You do the same thing I do.
False imagery.
Okay, great. So you hear that one word, finessing, right? So I'm at home, I'm online, and I see some dude who's iced out, probably got cars, money, clothes, the whole nine. That's what I want. That's my dream. Why? Because of attention. We as human beings crave attention. Doesn't matter what kind, but we crave it.
I'm gonna tell you the most influential people in the world. And the person that touches the most people in the world is barbers, bro. I'm gonna tell you, I feel like there is a responsibility. I'm talking about you touch rich people, poor people, middle class. I'm talking about every class. The barbershop saved my life. When I was every time when I was growing up, I had a job in the barbershop every week. That's like, bro, come sweep the hair. When everybody else was somewhere getting in trouble, I'm sweeping her in the barbershop. I'm a Unique Custom Olive, U City. I'm whatever. I'm sweeping. I'm whatever. I got. Every person that's sitting in your chair, bro, you ain't nothing but a psychiatrist. You got a chance to touch little dudes like this that's coming. You don't know what kind of life they leading. You don't know what you can help them in. Sitting in the chair so many times where I had so much insight, and we're talking about how to change the trajectory and the picture. It starts low level. We can't expect Facebook and we're not looking to that for solutions. Like in my opinion, for me, it's dudes that I see every day. I sit in the chair and they be like, "Look, man, you gotta stay out of trouble, man. What you doing?" Matthew Dickey saved my life. Whoa, saved my life. Boxing saved. Dudes in the community like, "Listen, man, come on, put some gloves on. We gotta take us. We can't look for the White House or the government. It starts right here."
Just got done reading this book, Good to Great by Jim Collins. And Jim Collins says that social media or the internet is not going to make or break a business. It's only there to enhance it.
Yeah.
And so when you look at changing our community, changing our city, it's going to take the work and the strategy of people to come together to actually create that. And the social media part is just going to enhance what we're already doing on a low level, like I said.
Before, when they was talking about, well, you know, like white cops, they beating up. But now they say, well, we got cell phones now. That changes what we see. That changes how we see. Now you got dudes like this. How old are you, bro? 18. How old are you? 17. You got dudes like this that look the part. They ain't did nothing. They looked the part. So when these things happen, how did you personally feel like when these dudes was getting killed and now you've looked the mold? Like, what was happening on the inside of you? Like, dang, like, were you nervous? Were you afraid? Like, what was you thinking?
I'd say somewhat nervous and afraid. Like, I know around those times, my parents told me like not to walk around because I live in a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
They told me just not to even walk around because, you know, it could be me anytime, like just from walking around.
It shouldn't be I can't come outside. I got a whole different intent. I might want to really go to the park and have fun or play basketball.
Right.
But I can't go to the park because there's somebody up here with a whole different intent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. And like, that's where it really started too. Like, like you said, man, even if it ain't your father, the father figure, that's why it's barbers, because that's a male that you can look up to.
I know the person that's sitting in your church is somebody that can't wait to come see you.
Yeah.
It ain't even just about no haircut. I used to go get a haircut once a week, then I go get a lining. Well, back in the day, they had the game, the video game. So I go out to school, and I just be in there playing the video game. Snacks, everything. Because here's the truth: somebody's gonna look up to somebody, but we have to be accountable for what we leading people. Right. Period. Every barber, every person of influence, somebody's gonna come see you. The question is, where are you leading them? What are you telling them? Because you got barbers like there's a gap in age, right? You got the 50s, then you got the 40s, but you got fathers right now that's just steady having kids. Steady, what you having all these kids for? But then you only have a relationship with them. Like, I feel like we got a responsibility, and for me, we like, well, we can't blame it on Trump, can't blame it on Obama. It's like what you doing in your local school. When the last time you been to Vashon and just talked to some kids? When the last time you been to CPPA or VAP? Or when the last time you just slid in there and be like, hey, I just want to talk to them? It's been a long time.
So in a sense, is it a deep impact? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you good.
But do I understand how impactful I may be? No. Because I'm just one person.
We was taught a lot of bad ways. A whole lot of bad ways. Like, you know what I'm saying? They teach them in your business because of the things they went through without minding their business. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to be helpful. Everybody gonna receive what you try to give. Like, I can give you something in my heart, but you think I'm doing it with something in mind like I want. No, I don't have another intent. I really mean what I'm doing.
The thing I'm supposed to do, I don't do. You say every time I try to do good, evil is always around. But I feel like we make decisions on what to use as a crutch or not. You gonna use a crutch what you want to do. If you want to make change, you gonna make change. Because at the end of the day, you gonna have kids. I got a 15-year-old daughter. I'm responsible. But even though you got a father, it's all of our responsibility to pitch in. If I see you doing wrong, you're like, come on, dog, you can't do that. But you got more dudes saying, I don't get it. I don't get it.
And then what I just said, they reliving their life and their glory days.
It ain't right.
You at school,
right,
and you come home, you mess up.
Right.
The next door neighbor will spank your tail if you in trouble.
That's where it starts. Everybody know that I did it.
Right.
You hit somebody else's child, they gonna come at you with a gun and you gonna be in trouble.
So it's gradual.
My grandmother,
I
I stayed in church Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. That's the thing that saved my life. You know what I'm saying? When my pastor passed, we got another pastor.
So it just want to keep going.
See, I listen to his word. That's what gets me through the day. If you can't get my undivided attention, I'm sitting up in church doing this, I gotta find somewhere else to go.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I can come to you about a problem. If I can come to you about a problem, you my pastor, and I'm telling you what I'm doing out here. And you tell me you ain't gotta do all this. I got a bachelor's degree and this and that. Now I ain't asking nothing about that. I'm telling you what I'm doing right now and what I'm doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? For us customers, taking care of me. I was young doing this.
Right.
But I had grandparents that get on my tail. Street lights had to be, when street lights come on, I'm in the street. You know what I'm saying? They kept me in basketball, football, boxing. I did everything you could. When I went to Long Beach, California, it's like my life kind of like
changed. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think it's always, you know, I think we have to be careful that we don't put people on pedestals, right? But we put people where they should be. Like, that's your pastor, that ain't your God. Right. Your pastor, that's not your God, right? But he is sent from God to help navigate you through your life. Of course, there's some things that the pastor gonna say, you're gonna be like, man, this dude's right. He just want my money. It don't matter if you if you give $50 and he uses it to go eat, that ain't on you. Right. The Lord gonna bless you for giving whatever you gave out of whatever you had. That man got to be responsible for going to Red Lobster to get the Cheddar Bay biscuits. That's correct. And he responsible for that. This should spark something in every heart of this person that when you leave this room, it's like, it's examining. Like, I need to do better. I need to do this. Maybe you got somebody in your street. Maybe you got somebody like in your community that's like, man, I see this dude every day. I need to actually take time and talk. No, you have no how many people call my phone and like, my son going crazy, can you meet with him? And my first question is, where is his daddy? Where is his uncle? Nobody trying to take responsibility no more.
Call them too. Like, they should come receive this too with them. Yeah,
everybody, like, come to the shop. Like, you got a daddy, but you need an uncle. You got whoever, you need an uncle. When my dad was gone, I had an uncle. I had my friend, my friends, pops in the community. Everybody was around, but now it's kind of like, oh, that kid bad. They need to do something about that. Right.
The problem is we got renter mentalities.
Yeah.
So when we look in our neighborhood, you know, I'm a new homeowner, and so now my view isn't just my house. Right. My view is this whole block.
Right.
Because everybody on this block affects my house.
Right.
And so if we take that sort of thinking, then we're looking at other kids, other young men and young ladies as if they're our own. Right. Because I shouldn't be reactive. We said, my son get killed. Now I'm all, I want everybody to march. You know what I'm saying? But if I can't march for your son, if I can't, cry with you or be with you in your trouble, then I'm going to take that approach that I'm gonna keep my mouth closed, or I ain't gonna say nothing because they ain't none of my business or whatnot. Not doing nothing right now is no more an option. It's no longer an option. We can't take that approach. Right. And so the problem for me is, what's the strategy?
Sure, the strategy.
When we marched, when we did all that type of stuff, everybody had something to say, but nobody was willing to come to the table and stand for one thing, one goal. We want everything. It's not gonna happen. It's a process.
And we don't want to stick with nothing.
Yeah.
It's like back then when they say, "Hey, we boycotting the buses."
Absolutely.
They still went to work. They just walked.
Everybody.
That lasted for over a year. Hey, you put the bus down. You like, I ain't gonna ride the bus. Then your boss be like, "Hey, you don't come to work, you get fired." You like, who got a bus ticket? You going because it's what's in it for you. Like they tell you, don't go to Walmart. Don't go to Walmart. You like, man, I don't care. They got toilet paper for like angel soft in that mug. 2 foot. You gonna go because you like, well, I still need what I need. It has to be a bigger picture. Like, it got to be like, the bus shut down. I ain't riding the bus. I don't care.
All right. Like everybody like racism was slavery was a choice.
Exactly.
They ain't gonna stop people from going to buy shoes.
No.
Just released like 5 albums.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. Like every person I come here, I mean the young people, I ask them about it. Did none of them care? Did none of them care? It's kind of like how you gonna win against that?
I think it's a bigger conversation because our ladies, we all need something. But it's a lot. We can't fix it all at night.